playoff hunt?
No, I'm not. And listen, it's been a valiant effort, of course, but the reason why they're not going to be able to make the playoffs is right now they're currently in third in their division, and I don't see them being able to get ahead of Buffalo this year or Miami. So you look at the rest of the games that they have left on their schedule. They have the Chargers. That'll be a struggle for them to be able to win that game. Then you have the Rams. That'll be a struggle. The Dolphins, Bills, and then you got 2 wins possible with maybe the Chargers and the Jets being your last game of the season. But I think they'll lose at least 2 games and maybe 3, and it will be because they're playing better teams, not because Cam Newton wasn't able to lead them to a playoff.
Interesting. I think he's going to keep them in the playoff hunt. I ain't say they were going to win the division. I ain't say that they were even going to make the playoffs. But is he going to play well enough to keep them in the playoff picture? You know, as you always see it, playoff teams 1 through 7, and it says on the bubble or in the hunt. That's where they're going to still be after this week when you talk about Cam Newton. Going back to my track days, there's 2 ways that you can pass somebody up. Either you get faster or they get slower. Same thing happens in the NFL. Either you get better or some teams may get worse. Somehow, some way, I look at the New England Patriots as a team that has not played up to its optimal level. Just like Cam Newton has said, he hasn't consistently been Cam Newton. In flashes, we've seen brilliance from Cam Newton. But in consistency, we have not seen that just yet. But that's why I believe in Cam Newton right now in this moment. Despite what we saw against Arizona, I got a full screen for you showing you who Cam Newton has been the last few weeks. Look at that completion percentage, 71.7. Oh, that's franchise quarterback money right there. Total yards per game, 266. Okay. What about that passer rating? Oh, anytime you see triple digits, you know you're working with somebody. And rush touchdowns. Now, there's a category I left off here, obviously, and it's not 0 giveaways. It's passing touchdowns. And that's why I say that they have not played up to their optimal level just yet. But that may be coming last part of this season. But, yeah, New England Patriots, because of Cam Newton, will still be in the playoff picture.
Oh, that's more than being in the playoff picture. I'm going to say go ahead and pin them in. The Patriots are in the playoffs, and here's why. When I look at the top teams in the AFC, you have to be a team that is built to play the right way. When I look at the teams that are in the playoff picture in the mix, 3 of those teams sit at the top of the board in rushing yards. The Cleveland Browns, the Tennessee Titans, the Baltimore Ravens. But also, the New England Patriots are 5th in rushing yards, averaging 149 a game. And even though we said Cam Newton hasn't played well as a passer, his ability to impact the game as a rusher certainly helps. You pulled up that stat, Marcellus. You put up the board where you said no giveaways. Well, we know that's the #1 deciding factor in how you win football games. And so as long as Cam Newton isn't turning the ball over and the Patriots are able to run, they are going to win games. And the last point about this, they get a chance to play all of their division rivals. So in my mind, they control their destiny. They should have beat the Buffalo Bills, they beat the New York Jets, and they beat the Miami Dolphins. Those are winnable games for them. I'm looking at the Patriots, and I'm saying this is a team that is going to get hot at the right moment. I think the New England Patriots are going to the playoffs for sure.
Wow. I think that's a very bold proclamation, but I'm
bold,
just going to continue. I'm just and sometimes I am, but sometimes I'm not. You know, sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. I'm not gonna jump at that one. I'm gonna stay consistent with what I'm saying. I see them losing at least 3 out of the last 5 games that they play. I think it sounds good in conversation to say that this team is not turning the ball over. That sounds amazing because they haven't. I think showing what Cam's stat line has been and how impressive it has looked and how it has, you know, what it's been since he's earned it, I think it looks good, but I think it's overstated. I do not see them as a team, personnel-wise, that is going to be able to beat the likes of a Los Angeles Rams team. When we say winnable games, I look at this team right now, and I do not see them being able to win against the Miami Dolphins this next time around. I look at the Bills game, and to say that they almost won it, you know, I played on a Washington football team that almost won a whole lot of games with a whole lot of good players on the rosters. And because we weren't a good enough team, we did not win those games. So we almost won a lot. I think this New England team has almost won games. I think they'll continue to almost win games. I just don't think they will win those games.
Man, I wish y'all were in the same room right now because Bucky could give you his glasses so you could see this picture a lot clearer. Because I don't think LeVar really knows how good the Patriots are. I don't think the Patriots know how good they are. And
they must not.
And I'm not talking about high-level execution, Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just talking about at their peaks, when they actually get into a good groove, you can see this team actually can make some noise. Think about it. This year has been fluid, especially for the Patriots. We all thought this offseason they were going to be sorry. Bums, 5 wins maximum. Then Cam Newton shows up, and you're like, yeah, I don't even know if Cam can stay healthy, let alone be accurate. I think they're going to be a little better than bums, but not that good. No playoff expectations. And then you watch them play in the first couple of weeks, and all of that changed. Then COVID hits him again, throws Cam off his game, and then now he's starting to rebound as of late. But this is a team that's beaten the Dolphins, beaten the Ravens, beaten the Cardinals, beating the Raiders. Look at all these playoff contending teams, if not in the playoff teams, that they've beaten. You're saying that they can't run this schedule? Look who they have left. You say a Rams team, but a Rams team that lost to the 49ers and lost to the Dolphins, they can't beat them? I think they can.
A familiar opponent.
Chargers.
A familiar opponent. But
Dolphins, Bills. That's familiarity if you want to go there. Okay. The New York Jets, all winnable games, I would say, if you're the New England Patriots. But what's more interesting for them is the way that they're going to have to play in December and how that's just perfect for what they do. It's just running the football. Cam Newton leading in terms of him being a rusher, 387 yards. This is a great pace for Cam. He's 4th amongst quarterbacks right now. And you talk about them having the 5th rushing attack. And the defense, as long as they keep them in these games, they play close to the vest without the penalties, I can see it happening, especially with that schedule. Only the Rams really stick out. And even in that situation, I think they could beat the Rams.
You know, that's the funny thing, because it is about the combination of the schedule. It's not just the Patriots in just terms of talking about them in a vacuum and whether they're talented enough to go to the playoffs. It's talking about them and how they play versus the teams that are on their schedule. We laid it out. The Chargers, the Rams, then we talk about 3 divisional games. That gives them a chance. Now, will it be easy in terms of will they blow any of those teams out? No. But what we're learning is as Cam embraces the Patriot way, which is really take care of the ball, let the rest of the unit of the team work for you, you have a chance. And as Stephon Gilmore comes back and gives them that Defensive Player of the Year on the island, and as this defense continues to improve and begin to get the takeaways and begin to get the explosive plays in the kicking game, this team is problematic. And don't underestimate this fact when it comes to those 3 divisional games. Even though the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins are sitting ahead of the New England Patriots, they still see the boogeyman when that team runs out onto the field. They haven't been able to knock off that team in 20 years. And so because of that, it still hangs in the balance. I'm not saying that the Patriots are Mike Tyson, but I saw Roy Jones Jr. last Saturday. I saw his knees knock a little bit when Mike Tyson ran out. And those body blows, they still matter. The Patriots can deliver them.
I like the deflection that you gave there. and Marcellus, they must not have played that simple young game that you teach with your kids when they're growing up. It's called memory. You remember you turn over the cards, then you try to figure and you match them, and then you get off the board. Earlier on, you were ridiculing me for being at 500 as a coach. Like, oh, LeVar, 500 as a coach. Oh, you're no good as a 500 coach. No, I thought that one piece of interesting information that has been left out of this discussion has been the Patriots record. How about let's just start there? Huh?